I had turned my mic off because I was cracking a beer. No, I was fully attentive that whole time.
Well, I believe you, but Natalia is the one that's not answering.
Are we holding again for you? I mean, I got a troop compliment ready and everything.
You have a who compliment ready?
A whole compliment. A word.
A whole compliment?
Yeah, like an
You're going to
attack compliment.
compliment somebody's whole?
I'm going to go and kick the crap out of their hole.
Whoa, this just got weird.
Okay, are we ready?
We
Yeah.
are definitely.
It's June 25th, and welcome to the Clash Files. I'm R. Cooper Cady, and with me, as always, the First Lady of Kent Farmhouse, and yeah, an actual woman. We've got Natalia.
Hi.
And we have Mr. I Have Level 30 Heroes at Town Hall 9, Rancid Meat.
Hey, how's it going?
Our very own McDreamy, we've got Halligan.
Oh, jeez. How's it going, Coops?
Going good. Let's see. You can get a hold of us on Twitter at The Clash Files, at our website, www.theclashfiles.com. You could send us your questions or comments at hosts@theclashfiles.com, and give us a rating on iTunes, and we're also available on Spreaker and Stitcher Radio.
Yay.
So how's the week going, everybody?
Pretty darn good.
Good.
Why don't we just give a short where everyone's at and what we think we're going to be doing next in the game. Nat, you want to kick us off on that?
Sure. What's been going on? I've been farming. I just dropped my queen to take the long nap. She is headed to 20, thank God. After that, I will have 2020 heroes.
Woot woot.
Yay!
Hooray.
And my lab is done here tomorrow. So, I'll be probably doing dragons or goblins. I
Are
think
you
those are like the only two I have left.
You're done with everything you use in the lab?
Yep.
Lightning?
Neat.
Got your lightning?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yes.
Better than me. Rancid, what are you doing?
I finished my queen 2 days ago, and now I'm just going to finish off my lavas, and within 2 weeks I'm going to gather enough to go for Town Hall 10, I think.
You're a good man. Halligan, what are you doing?
I've been spending my time hating Rancid.
I think we all have.
Out of jealousy, of course. No, I got my king up to 17. My queen, I think, was at 20 the last time you heard from us, but I got the king up to 17. A few more lavas, and actually, and I'm sure we'll get to this later with K2 starting up, or and Farmhouse 2.0 starting up. I brought my Town Hall 4 out and have been farming at Town Hall 4. How much fun is that?
I can't hardly imagine how much fun that is.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't need to.
What's the loot like down there, Hal?
If I find a 30K raid, I'm happy.
30K.
Yes, 30K.
You know,
30K.
so I have some experience at this because I have a very mini account that I used to try to farm at Town Hall 4, and you can push up a pretty legitimate amount of trophies, and once you do, it's like nothing but loot.
How long ago was that? Was that before they changed the Town Hall matchups, or?
Maybe.
Okay, because I'm still really low. I think if I get a couple more wins, I'll be in Silver 3. But I was kind of wondering about that, whether if pushing up cups would help that. Because I seem to remember getting 100K with that guy at some point in time. But I was searching for 10 minutes, and the best I saw was 30K. Actually, I take that back. The best I saw was 40K, and then I slipped and hit the next button again.
Yeah, well, I'm just farming DE. That's all I do now is farm DE to try to get my heroes up. My queen is at level 25. My king just woke up from 23 and immediately went back to sleep for 24. You know, that actually kind of reminds me of something that I wanted to ask. Last week was we all have like these Town Hall 9s and Town Hall 10s as our main accounts, but Natalia, do you have any other accounts that you play?
I do. I have one that I don't actively play. Like, I get on it every once in a while, and that is also named Natalia. And then I have another one, and the second Natalia is Town Hall 8. And then I have another one that I really, really don't get on ever, and that's Wonder Woman.
How many accounts is that?
That would be 3 altogether.
3 accounts for Natalia.
My main
Halligan,
and 2 alts.
Halligan, do you have other accounts you play?
I do. I've got a grand total of 3. Actually, one of them is in LexCorp FE, and that account actually is tied. I have no control over it. It's an abandoned account on a BlackBerry device that I use for work or was issued for work, so I've got no way to claim it. So I just kind of rushed to Town Hall 7, got the Dragons, Rage, and we'll just do wars with that account. But I'm working now on a Town Hall 4 account that I had started because this one I could tie to my Google account, and this one I can actually play. So I'm doing things right as I move up through Town Hall 4. I was actually farming on it a little bit earlier tonight. Oh boy, fun times. I'd rather go for DEE, my main.
Yeah, I hear you there. How about Rancid? You got more than one account?
I have a second account that I started back in October, and I've played in 2 different binges, so it's pretty bad. It's Town Hall 4. So one of these days a dead bullfrog will pop up somewhere, and maybe it'll be of some kind of use.
Yeah, I have 4 accounts. I have 3 that are named R. Cooper Katie, so that's not confusing when they're all in one clan. But they're Town Hall 7, a decent Town Hall 7, a decent Town Hall 8, and then I have a Town Hall 7 that only has Town Hall 4 defenses. The number of defenses are Town Hall 4, but they're max for Town Hall 7. And that one's name is Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins!
Nice.
That's right. He only attacked number 1 opponent in Clan Wars.
Sweet.
The Rancid, your comment about maybe he'll be of some use. I love having that little guy that I can just switch the counts, hit confirm, and go to a different clan, whether it's for visiting, saying hi, or I took ads over to Elf. Just in my case, able to record for YouTube the SOAS versus House of El war. So there's uses for the little peanut accounts.
Yeah, and that's why I like my alt. I can kind of go visit and, see other clans and see my friends from other clans without having to pull my main out of Kent Farmhouse. That's super nice.
That's kind of where I was thinking of going with it, is just making it enough that I can have some fun with it while I'm sitting and chatting with people in other places. So
Yeah, I hate all my alts. I wish I could throw them all away, but now that they're born, I feel like sometimes I have to use them. They're coming in handy with something that maybe Natalia will talk about now, because we're all in Kent Farmhouse, and so I think each week we're going to bring just some news about Kent Farmhouse, the clan that we're all in. So Natalia, you want to tell us what's going on this week in Kent?
Sure. So this week in Kent, we won our last war. It was up against, and they were called Adult Armies. And they were one of those warring farming war clans. I'm not sure what the technical term for that is.
Not very smart.
Yeah. And they pretty much put out a message on their little info box that said, send somebody over. We'll put our top 2 town halls out, or you guys put your top 2 town halls out, and we'll let you win the war. So, Coop, you went over there, and you basically kind of brokered the deal.
Yeah, I went over there, and they were nice guys.
Yeah.
They just wanted to farm us for loot, and so they said, put your top 2 out, and we'll do whatever you want. So at first I told them to just go ahead and we'll farm them as well, but the clan decided they wanted to have some practice. So I brokered the deal that we would put our top 2 out, but they had to give us a challenge.
Yeah, they had to give us some actual war bases. So anyway, we did end up putting our top 2 guys. They put their town halls out. I know they trapped them. You and X-trapped your town halls, which was epic because they didn't say anything about don't trap them. So we did trap them. I think, Coop, you had 2 defensive wins out of like 28 or something along those lines.
Pretty priceless because the very first one was a defensive win.
Yeah, it was super good. Yeah. So we won that war, but the score ended up being 81-3. The impressive attack there was Skullduggery, our number 24, ended up 3-starring their number 1. He did a mass witch attack, and it was pretty cool to watch. There are not many times where your number 24 is going to be able to 3-star their number 1, no matter where the defenses on the base are. So that was super cool. What else is going on in Kent Farmhouse? Let's see. Our Warhammer for the previous war went to Gearbanger, and that was a war we did with Cosmopolis. So he got the Warhammer for doing 2 3-star attacks as a 9.5, basically a 10. So that was super impressive. So congrats to Gearbanger for that. And my last piece of news is that we have a new clan. So we've opened, basically it's Kent Farmhouse 2.0. If you want to do a search for it, it's actually K Farmhouse 2.0, and I am pulling up the clan tag right now because I did not write it down like a goofball.
Hey, while you're doing that, I think it's probably important to point out why we started Kent 2.0.
So we started Kent 2.0 because we noticed, or at least I noticed, I was getting a lot of messages from people wanting to come back to Kent and wanting a spot in Kent, and we're consistently full. We are at 50 members pretty much all the time, and all those 50 members are pretty steady. They solid. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So we opened 2.0 basically for fans of the Clash Files, other Kryptonian family members to kind of come over and hang out, and just another place that can be a cool, just like Kent Farmhouse. It's basically the same. It's not a feeder clan. It is just a sister clan to us. So it'll be run exactly the same as Kent Farmhouse is ran. So yeah, that's basically why we opened it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because we are so consistently full. I thought we definitely needed a place to be able to put people that want to be in Kent Farmhouse, but we're always full.
Sure, and we have, there's a lot of the members that are in Kent Farmhouse currently have an alt in 2.0. So, I have an alt there. Coop has an alt there. I know Halligan has an alt there. Ran, I don't know if you do or not. I think
no,
you
not
do.
yet.
You don't.
No.
But a lot of the members that we have do have alts over there. So you'd get to chat with a lot of the people that are in Kent Farmhouse as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, the Warhammer. I don't know. Have we gone over what the Warhammer is before?
I don't think so.
Halligan, I know you brought that with you. So what's the Warhammer and how did that come about?
That's something that I guess we talked about it on Scotty's cast.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I thought was a great idea from the Chicago Blackhawks, who, if you looked around my little studio here, you can see that everything has to do with the Blackhawks in my life, or at least did until Clash. But they, after a game, pass along this cheesy plastic WWE wrestling belt from one player to the next for whoever holds it says, you know what, this guy just did a bang up job. Just whether he was a big goal scorer, shots blocked, just whoever did the most to contribute to that game, they pass him the belt. It came up with that idea for the clan, where it's to a point, it's kind of like an MVP award, but more it's just something to recognize the guy that did the best for that particular war. And you brought up during the news this farming clan that we went up against. It's kind of unfortunate when you go up against a clan like that, where there's no way for anybody to to really show off, because the deal that Coop brokered was great. Give us some bases to practice against, and there were none. There was their top two were troll bases. 3 and 4 were farm bases, but still, I guess that was a challenge for some of the Town Hall 9s like myself to go and try to 2-star a Town Hall 10. But then from their top 10 Town Hall 9s were all troll bases with arrows being, here, take the loot.
Yeah.
So that was kind of sad, and it's kind of sad to see a war like that where we can't really just pass the hammer. So I think that gives us a great opportunity to let Gear kind of choose who, Gear or yourself, Nat, choose who gets it for the first war in K2.
Yeah, for sure. I will pop on K2 2.0 and choose that tonight. But I wanted to give out the clan tag so it's easy to find. The clan tag would be for Ken Farmhouse 2.0 is hashtag L8UGRV82. And again, it's actually just K and then Farmhouse, FARMHOUSE 2.0, and you will find it. If you want to get in, I think we were discussing having kind of a password, and I think it was going to be some form of like, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that was a good one. I liked that.
Yeah.
So if you
why
just
don't they just mention I believe, or I want to believe, or something that has to do with believing?
Yeah, or just, mention the Clash files, and yeah, you're pretty much in.
Anything else going on in Kent?
Not that I can think of, unless you guys can think of something. I mean, you guys are in the clan as well.
No, nothing much has been really happening.
Yeah, just
Covered it all.
Yeah, just the normal goings on, the late night chats and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, so we put out a call for folks to send us questions and comments and stuff like that, and we got some. In fact, Scotty87, who is the other night on SOAS, I guess they called him the Clash of Clans Podfather. He's the guy that started most of this stuff.
The Podfather.
I like that.
That is awesome.
Scotty the Podfather.
Well, he sent us a question to get us kicked off. I thought it was appropriate. We've got a lot of support from a lot of people, but not minimal amongst those is Scotty827, and he wrote in and said, you had to change your in-game name on your main account, what would you change it to?
Ooh.
So, Rancid, why don't you take that one first?
Geez, that would be just such an easy one. I'd take out the numbers. Thank you.
Natalia.
That's only if I had to.
What would I change mine to? Probably some form of like Natalie, because people call me Natalie a lot. Or I would put an exclamation point like you, Coop.
Nat, you had something when the name change option came out. There was something that you were really tossing around. What was that?
I don't. It was an option between like Natalia with an A and then an E at the end of it, or Wonder Woman,
Or Natty Light.
or Natty Light, something like that. Natty Ice, I think, was mentioned to me.
Natalia, I remember that one.
Natalia, yeah, there was a bunch that were kind of thrown out there to me, but when I posed the question to the clan, I was like, "What do you guys think I should change my name to? Because I can."
Don't change your name.
There was a lot of resistance, so I held off, and I've kept Natalia.
Do you still have the ability to change your name, or did you ice it for yourself and change it the same thing?
Nope, I changed. I still have the ability to change it.
Still have the option.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good idea to just remove that temptation. Change it back to yourself.
Yeah, that's basically what I did. I went from R. Cooper Katie to R. Cooper Katie.
Yeah, you did.
And if I had to go back, like some of the other ones that I thought about changing my Maine to Leroy Jenkins because I love that name.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other ones that I was thinking about was some form of Walter White because I love that TV show.
Oh, nice.
What about you, Halligan?
That's a real tough one because Halligan's been a gaming name for me since I actually used to be a firefighter, and Halligan is a tool, forcible entry tool that I thought was just perfect for naming a character, what have you. So I haven't given any thought to any other gaming name for 20 years.
So
Jeez.
Halligan, it would stay.
Yeah. Halligan's a
Yeah.
great name for a Clash of Clans account because
is a
you
good
are
name.
forcibly entering a lot of bases to steal their DE.
That's true.
Amen. But I did change that account that's tied to the BlackBerry. It was initially Son of Halligan, which was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
As far as whether I wanted to use him as a spy or not, whatever. I changed that one to Axe, and I changed, and when I created that Town Hall 4 account, that one was Ads, which are all firefighting tools. I think that I'm basically a tool bag, so.
Well, one of our clanmates, Bisp, B-I-S-P, Bisp, he sent us an email. And it's pretty timely for Rancid, especially, who's getting ready to go to Town Hall 10. And he wants us to talk about what we think the appropriate upgrade order is. And we could take this a few different ways if we wanted to talk about different Town Hall levels or what. But, I think a good place to start might be with Rancid because you must be thinking about this a lot right now.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to do?
For me, the first, right off out of the gate, it's going to be the Clan Castle, Spell Factory, and then the lab and camps after that. And then just to get the more, the full amount of troops that I can, get the spells, get that 5th spell as soon as possible, and then start cranking out new troop levels. After that, I hadn't kind of thought a lot about what defenses I was going to do, and if I was going to drop the new defenses over just upgrading some of them. And I'm still kind of up in the air a little bit, but Coop, you kind of convinced me to put down the Inferno Towers pretty quick.
I'm gonna have to. I gotta argue against that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your argument, Hal? Because I need some education on this.
Because. Look at who we've got look to Gearbanger, especially Gearbanger. Uda, Hellbringer. They are able to with their increased troop space, they're able to take care of those top Town Hall 9s that myself, you haven't struggled for all that long because you've got such high heroes. But the top Town Hall 9s, we have a hard time 3-starring those top Town Hall 9s. The 9.5s can drop down, take those out, and then just in the natural order of progression, once you've got those offenses moved up, you've got the higher clan castle, the larger camps, even if you're not upgrading to the level 6 whiz, whatever, you're still a much more potent attacker at that level than defender without the Inferno Towers. Once you've gotten to the point where, okay, this is taken care of, I've gotten most of my zaps or some of my zaps while I've been doing the rest of the stuff, then heck yeah, drop the Inferno Towers, protect your loot, and start making sure that people aren't going to, or trying to make sure that people aren't going to 2-star you in war. But I think those Inferno Towers are the last thing you want to drop.
Well, you're assuming that after you do all that stuff, you're going to have any loot to protect because you're going to get hit so hard because you don't have Inferno Towers.
That's true.
Yeah, not necessarily, because even as a pretty decent farmer, it's rare that I'll run into a 9.5 in the wild, and even max Town Hall 9s, it's basically get the DE and run. with those. I mean, it's not running over them. It's do my damnedest to get the DE get out of there, and I still fail at occasion on that without the Inferno Towers. So
I think it depends on what your goal is. I think if your goal is ultimately like to get better at war, then I say hold off on Inferno Towers, get your camps up, get your spells going, get your troops going, keep your heroes going, and start on the little defenses or whatnot. But I think ultimately if your goal is just to become a better farmer and maybe push or whatnot, then drop your Inferno Towers. The faster the better, in my opinion. But ultimately, like I said, I just think it depends on where your ultimate goal is. If you want to help out your clan with war, with being able to attack a higher base, but still kind of not going up in the ranks and causing a higher matchup for your clan, then, keeping the Inferno Towers out and kind of staying as a 9, but having 10 troops and spells and such is a definite advantage for sure. But if it's farming, then you kind of have to go the complete opposite of that. That's, again, my opinion.
Yeah, for me, I am going to be warring. That's all there is to it. I'm a 9 that should be a 10. And so I'm going to participate in every war. But I still want to farm, so I got to find a little bit of a balance between the two. The Inferno Towers, they're not actually coming until the golems, the wizards, free spell. What else did I want to upgrade? Golems, wizard, free. Oh, barbs and arch. At some point in time, I mean, there's going to be enough. I've got new mines to build. I've got a new drill to max. All of the builders are going to be busy doing those things, resource generating and not really adding a lot of firepower to the base or adding a lot of base weight for wars and things like that.
But still helping with the farming.
Yeah, definitely helping with the resource production. And then once I've got, that's going to keep 4 builders busy for a while. The 5th builder will be, again, it's just kind of how I've been doing it since halfway through Town Hall 9, is I have a free builder available to do walls and heroes. And every time I've got the money for the DE, there's a builder ready to go. If I got nothing to do with $1 million gold, or that case it'll be 4 million in gold, but I can sink it into something else, don't have to worry too much about getting hit for it. If I'm only holding on to 1 or 2 resources, usually I get left alone.
Yeah.
Right.
So what about a town? So I think that's a unique situation, right? I think we could probably debate go move into Town Hall 10 for a
All
while.
day.
Yeah.
When you should upgrade the expos, all that stuff. But what if you're moving from Town Hall 7 to Town Hall 8? You're going to get obliterated in war, no matter what you do.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So really it comes down to, what order would we recommend people do their upgrades in? I think usually everybody starts with Splash, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start
would say,
go ahead, Nat.
I would say, and this has always been my theory, when you're a brand new Town Hall 8, the way I always did it was I would drop everything on the map. I would get my clan castle going, my camps going as fast as I could, my spell factory going as fast as I could, because those things are important. After that, I would take the defenses that I just put on my map, the brand new ones, and I would get them to the same level as the other ones on my map. So everything is the same level. Then I would start upgrading all my splash another level and all of that. So that's the way I did it. I'm not necessarily saying that's the best way, but that seemed to work pretty well for me.
Where do you guys think Teslas fit into that? The way I always have done it has been Splash and then Teslas, because they attack so quickly. I think they almost qualify as Splash.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah.
It's funny. The way that I look at it is that it's all going to get done eventually anyway. And I did all splash damage first, going from 7 to 8 and from 8 to 9. That was just the way that it was supposed to be done. But getting to the Teslas, those were the last things that I did.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason in my mind was, as a matter of fact, I went from 7 to 8 and from 8 to 9 without maxing my Teslas. They were a bitch to catch up.
I would imagine.
They were a bitch to catch up. But my thought process on that is that part of the reason I was upgrading everything else is to make it look scary and have somebody hit next. The Teslas don't look scary.
Yep.
You don't see them. So screw them. They can stay a little bit lower level. It wasn't until Midtown Hall 9 that I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get these level 4 Teslas up.
Yeah, I remember
it was
those
bad.
days.
Yeah.
But from what you said, Nat, yeah, you're right. As far as I felt, at least at Town Hall 9, I made that mistake at Town Hall 8 is not maxing everything up, and
Yeah.
it just was a pain in the neck to catch everything up. But I did everything partially on costs. I did the Wizard Towers because of the splash damage, but they were the most expensive at 9 especially. And get the big one out of the way, and everything else just seems to be able to fall into place.
Right.
Or if you just haven't saved quite enough, you can still drop it on something a little cheaper.
Right.
Right.
And cannons last, right? Can we all agree?
Yes.
Cannons are last.
For me.
Point
Yes.
defenses that only hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did that. I swore that I was gonna wait, and this is Town Hall 10 again to get a little off subject. I thought I was gonna wait and do my expos last because when you look at how much it cost to upgrade an expo to max and look at the paltry amount of damage increase there is, it just doesn't make any sense. But I ended up doing them earlier.
Because they're
And
scary
ended with
looking.
cannons. That's right, they do. They scare people away.
Exactly.
That might be their primary function.
Yep.
You're
It's
right.
it's not killing things.
That was one thing that I was looking at, and moving away from the 7 to 8, but back at 9, is the Teslas were actually your best bang for your buck.
Oh yeah.
For
You got
sure.
way more of an increase in the damage and hit points for what you were spending on a max Tesla as opposed to the max Wizard Tower or the Archer Towers. Or
Yeah, we had a guy, Nat and I are from Bad Rabbits, and we had a guy, I'm pretty sure his name was Doc, and I do think he had
I
a
remember
doctorate.
Doc.
And he used to come out with the best like charts and graphs about which thing you should do next and what
did,
your
yeah.
bang for your buck was. I got to go find those charts and get them out to everybody listening to the show because they were very interesting
They
to
were
look
great.
at, I thought. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I think everybody probably has some strong opinions on, when you're managing a clan, seems like it comes down to one or two things that you think are important. If you're a massive, war clan, then you're going to judge people on game performance. Maybe that's unfair to say in every case, but I think a lot of times it comes down to that. Whereas when you're a clan like us, I think the social aspect is really important. So I guess I just would like some opinions on which one do you think is more important, and do you think there's a place for both of them in the game? Natalia, what do you think?
I do, absolutely. For me, it's social aspect. I mean, hands down, bar none, social aspect. I could honestly probably stop farming and stop warring, and be just fine, but I would miss my clan mates.
Yeah, I fall into that same category. I think it's much more important to have a good group of people that you like to talk with. I've visited the prestigious war clans before, and I left not because I didn't think they were great as far as the gameplay went, because
Right.
they obviously were. A lot of times, all they were talking about were war attacks or what we were going to do in the next war or critiquing the last war's attacks, and it's just got to be too much.
Well, look at
Yeah.
it this way. How many times have you guys spent hard cash in the form of gems on a boost You've got your barracks boosted, you got your spell factories boosted, and then you realize that you have been laughing and typing and chatting with your clan for long enough that your troops have been ready for 15 minutes
Like
now.
20 minutes
Yeah.
all the time.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah, all
Happens
the
all
time.
the time.
Yep. So yeah, it's for as sad as it is, we pay money to stay together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
So I think that kind of clinches social aspect.
Yeah, and I think social aspect helps in warring too, because like when I screw up an attack and it happens all the time, so I get to feel this way all the time, I really feel bad. Like I feel like I've let people down.
Oh, me too.
Amen.
And if I
Yep.
didn't care about the people that I played with, then who would care, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think, Rancid?
Yeah, it definitely is all the social aspect. We're all hard on ourselves, and nobody else is. It just makes it so much more fun.
For sure.
I haven't been in any of them, the real serious clans, but anybody that I've talked to that's been in it, they left for the same reasons, is that it was just so detailed that it wasn't, I don't know exactly how to describe it. Maybe it wasn't just casual. It was business. It was task at hand and get it done and okay, good night.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah, I play this game because it's a game, not because it's a job I punch into each morning.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, you don't do mega boosts on your days off, Coop?
Well, I might do that, but it's only when the other people aren't on playing. So like I said, we got a lot of questions and emails, like way more than I thought we were going to get.
We did.
We were going to get this week, and they run the gamut. So I thought we might just go through a few of them. It's just quick as we want to, or we might spend some time on a couple. But Botox, been on podcasts before, and currently in the clan. He wants to know, how many witches does it take for an attack to qualify as a bona fide Hocus Pocus? We have heard about Hocus Pocus for the last couple of weeks. It's a mass witch raid. Rancid, tell us about Hocus Pocus.
I have used this back when I had really low heroes, 10 and 5. I only used about 8, I think, in that raid, and it was really fun. They were a lot of fun to use, a lot of witches. But I did a quick search on Google today, and in just quickly looking at the complements and not really looking at the deployment or anything, I found it varies anywhere from 16 to 19 witches. There's a golem sometimes, or sometimes the heroes are used to tank. A bunch of wall breakers, 6 to 9 I've seen. A few wizards maybe to clean up outer boxes. Maybe a couple arch or something like that. But basically from what I've seen and what I've used with this attack, it's really good on really open bases.
Yeah.
Where you've got a big outer ring and then a big inner core. Any walls and it's over for the skeletons because the witches catch up and then they get squashed. So it's a really neat attack, and it'll 3-star at Town Hall 10 if it's built poorly. So
Anybody else use this attack? Anybody else ever use this attack?
I've used it once.
To what end?
I 3-star. It was not a Town Hall 10. It was a pretty max Town Hall 9 though. But I only used like 12 witches. I'd like to say, and I threw in some Valks, golems. I had wall breakers. So I don't know if it was a Hocus Pocus exactly, but I mean, 12 witches. Like a
lot of witches.
Semi Hocus Pocus, I guess.
I just, from an
sorry.
outside looking at it, I think that 12, anything greater than 12 would qualify as a
Yeah, I agree
Hocus
with that.
Pocus. Because how many, I'd have to look it up, how many Larrys does each witch produce?
a level 1 gives you 6 and a level 2 gives you 8. So
Yeah, so at 12, you're looking at a ton of Larrys.
around 100 or so.
A lot
Yep.
of Larrys.
Yep.
At 19, you're just looking at a
Lots.
Many.
Yeah.
if you turn the noise on, it's just constant Larry screaming.
Many.
I tried to do this when I was at Town Hall 9 and nobody called it a Hocus Pocus. I filled up my camps with witches and then attacked somebody and failed miserably. And I'm pretty sure that a guy in the clan that I was in named Ben J got legitimately mad at me for it because I wasted all that dark elixir.
Oh, I think I remember that. I think I was there for that.
He was really angry.
I think I remember that. That was super funny.
Like, what are you doing? So our next question comes from Twitter. It's from Kosar Maniacs, and he asks, what's everyone's favorite media outlet for all things Clash? When you wake up, what's the first thing you do to look for updates? So where do we go for our news? Halligan, where do you go for your news?
It's kind of a cycle or routine for me, where the first thing that I do is I get up and get the coffee started, and I'll check Line, as a matter of fact, first off out the bat. See what the guys from across the globe have had to say about what's going on with the clan, with the family, what have you. And then it's Twitter. I mean, there's no other good outlet for Clash stuff than Twitter, which I think is a good reason to follow as many. If somebody says that they Clash even in a casual way, it's nice to follow them, because then you get their insight. If they hear something, then it'll end up getting posted, that type of thing. So for as lousy as Twitter can be for so many things, and we'll not get into the trolling and all of that garbage, but for when you're focused on one little area of the universe, such as Clash of Clans, it's ideal. It's perfect. So that's where I go.
What about you, Nat? Anything different? You do anything different?
Not particularly. I wake up, I look at my phone, I look to see which, like, it's between Twitter and Line for me as well. I look to see which one has the most little notifications near it. And generally it's Line, so I'll quickly go online and, I'll check just the Kent Farmhouse chats that I'm in, just to kind of see what's happened, and then I'll go on Twitter and, kind of scroll through to see if Clash of Clans posted anything, or if anybody's posted anything crazy. And then if I do notice that Clash of Clans posted a sneak peek, I'll then actually head to the forums, so I can look at the forum exclusive to see what people are saying on there. But then it's generally back to Line and then discussing just kind of what we've seen. And,
Good point on the forums.
Yeah,
that's something that I always forget about. If there's something detailed that I'm looking for, is I end up going to the forum.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my routine.
So I'm sensing a pattern here. So I'm going to guess what Rancid does first thing in the morning. Do you look at your phone right when you wake up?
Yeah. Since it wakes me up, then the first thing that happens is I open Clash of Clans. Open my eyes, I open Clash of Clans. What did I get hit for?
Right.
And then I scroll through the 100 or so messages from the last 2.5 hours. And this is at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the chat has just been stupid busy. And if everybody is so damn active in the community itself, it seems, that if there's something going on, it's mentioned in chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, then I'll go hop on, say, oh, okay, well, I got a shield, so I don't need to raid. I can just collect, and I'll go back to Line, then back to Twitter or something like that, if depending on the information. And that way I also get the Clash of Clans notices right away. Oh, look, I got some mail from them. Oh, look, it's a video to watch. I can do that while I'm having my morning constitutional.
Yeah, I think you can begin and end in our chat, because if the benefit, I'm on the West Coast, and the benefit of being on the West Coast is by the time I wake up, even if I wake up early, everything's already happened. So it's being talked about in chat.
Yep.
True story.
That's right. So Death Bunny COC from Twitter at Death Bunny COC made an observation about something we said on the first podcast, which is that we hated war, which I'm not sure we said we hated war.
Well, he said to that effect. He was like,
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that we hated war, but that we weren't giant fans of it, more or less.
Okay, well, that's true. So
yes.
Is that because we want to farm or push? Natalia, what would you rather do, farm or push?
I would honestly rather farm and or push. Other than war, just because I don't know. I don't like war. I don't like the pressure, and it's not even like there's no pressure from the clan, that I feel. It's just pressure I put on myself, I guess. and I just don't like that feeling. I don't know. I don't hate war. I will, as Rand and I'm sure Coop and Hal, you all will attest, like, sometimes I'm all up for war. Sometimes if I've been out for a couple days, I'm like, I want a war. But for the most part, I just don't. I'm not a big fan of it. I never have been.
Well, your non-committal answer makes me want to say you're going to hate the next question. But Rancid, what do you want to do more, farm or push?
I'd have to pick farm, but I do like warring. I mean, I hate that stress that you feel for just before your attack, but when you're just about to have a stroke and you start deploying your troops, there is a bit of a rush to that, which is just, and you can kind of sit there and once everything's down and you're just holding on your spells, you're yelling at your phone, come on, right. Come on, and so I do really enjoy that as much as it's stressful and stuff, and that's kind of what I've been building for, is to be a war machine as far as. Not that I'm ever going to be like, just the war ended, let's start it right now. The war ended, let's start it right now. Or getting on anybody's attack or expecting people to do better. It's just that I've built the tank and now I'm going to take over Africa.
Yeah, and I think, Halligan, you probably like war too, don't you?
I like war in theory. I hate my performance. But yeah, I do. I think that's a very huge part of the game. Gosh, I love farming. I love upgrading. Honestly, I really enjoy pushing. And who knows? It's one of those jack of all trade type of things. I always, even in my personal life, I want to have a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of action in. I want to have my finger in all the pies. And I love farm. I can't pick. I was going to say that I'd say pushing and warring are my favorite, but I like just going out and crushing Town Hall 8s for their loot. So there's something to be said about every single aspect of this game.
Yeah, you're going to hate the next question too. I would rather push. Like, I think anybody who's listened to me talk for any length of time at all knows that, like, I'm farming right now out of necessity. I've got to get my heroes up, and then once they're maxed, I'll probably stop farming. I don't see me ever being that guy with all the blue walls. I've got max defenses. I may never upgrade my lightning to max. Once I have heroes that I think I can push with, I'll probably push up and never come back down.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing to hate on that. I mean, there's actually something to admire about that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, definitely. That's a struggle just to stay up there. And
yeah. Our last question comes from Botox. We gave him the first one. We'll give him the last one too. And we're gonna ask everybody to commit to an answer this time. And he wrote in and said, "Listen, we love Clash of Clans. A lot of us are geeks. I think everybody on here is at least some degree of a geek. So you're gonna like Star Wars too. But if you had to make Sophie's choice and you had to give up Star Wars or Clash of Clans, which one would it be?" And we'll start with Rancid.
I'm gonna have to go with Star Wars.
Halligan.
Yeah, Star Wars. I'm a Trekkie.
Ditto!
I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm not giving up Star Trek. So yeah,
that's a whole other podcast. Natalia.
I'm the same. I'm the same as Halligan here. I'm a Trekkie, so Star Wars is going bye-bye.
Yeah, and you know what? I never made very many friends watching Star Wars movies, so I'll probably have to get rid of Star Wars as well.
So,
sorry,
Botox,
Star
if you're
Wars.
watching Botox, if you're still watching Star Wars, then you might as well turn it off.
Sorry, Star Wars.
All right, that's about going to wrap it up for us today, I think. Halligan, do you have any shout-outs you want to put out there?
Oh, of course you start with me. I do. By the time that you guys all listen to this, the event will probably be over. But I wanted to shout out Buckeye Guy. He's got just a for fun event this weekend coming. I'd have to look it up. Loons, bacon, and beer, and all the attacks have to be. Yeah, exactly. Three of my favorite things. All the attacks have to involve balloons, dogs, in some capacity, and then I'm assuming that the beer is self-provided, which I have no problem with that. So I think it's going to be a fun time. I think I'm going to head over to his clan Beer Goggles to take part in that.
Rancid, who do you want to shout out?
I'll give a shout out to Tate from Saturday Night Hive. He stopped by. There was an opening for about half an hour, and he managed to slip in, and he came to say hi.
I missed Tate?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alan barely logged on for long enough to see him there, but he gave us some support and said that we were doing a good job, and it was really nice to see him stop by for a few minutes, so thanks very much.
Thanks, Tate.
Natalia, who do you want to shout out?
So my shout out this week is going to go to our one and only in Kent Farmhouse Sith Lord. And I'm shouting him out because he's a new-ish member. He's been super, super active. So I want to say thanks to that. And he's really vocal on Twitter. I've seen a lot of, really positive posts towards Kent Farmhouse from him. And so I wanted to say thank you to him. He has a mini that's a Chorizo Bandit, which is a pretty good name too. So just wanted to say thanks to him.
And I got a couple of shout outs. I think the rest of the crew joined me in shouting out these first two people. Jamie from the clan has been super helpful to us. If you go to our website or look at our Twitter or even look at the icon in our iTunes feed, that's all Jamie's handiwork. And as soon as we voiced the need to have any kind of design work done, he immediately stepped up and volunteers his services and has just been super helpful to the podcast.
Absolutely.
And then we want to give a great big thank you to Scotty827, who we mentioned earlier is the Podfather. He's been super helpful, super supportive. If you guys check out one of the recent episodes, probably came out a couple days before this one, he had us all on to talk about the pod, and he's also just been super supportive and helpful.
Super. And I have one more, if you don't mind. I just want to thank kind of everybody in the Clash of Clans community so far. Everybody in the podcast community has been super amazing throughout this whole process. They've all been really nice, and with all the comments, it's been really great. So I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who have been so supportive of the Clash Files and this endeavor that we're kind of on. So thank you to everyone.
Yeah, I absolutely gotta echo that sentiment. And I've got one more shout out. And my main shout out this week is going to go to somebody I met when I went to visit one of the friends of the podcast who's named Jeremy. Jeremy and his brother put out a podcast called Randomly Generated with Kurt and Jeremy. And he came over and visited us. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. He came over and visited the clan. And so I thought I'd go visit his clan. And I not so much as got in the door when one of his co-leaders, whose name is Nihilism or Nihilism, greeted me with, "Hey, are you any good?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, can you 2-star Town Hall 10s in war?" Or, yeah, can you 2-star Town Hall 10 in war? And I said, "Sometimes." And then I got, "Well, in my experience, Town Hall 10s just aren't very good." And I think that's a great way to welcome new people to your clan. So Nihilism gets a shout out from me this week. He's just seems to be just a super guy.
Yep. So can I tell my joke now?
Yeah, go ahead and tell your joke.
Okay, so my joke for this podcast is: an archer, a barbarian, and a goblin are all enjoying drinks in a tavern when each notices a fly in their glass. The archer places her napkin over the glass and pushes it off to the side. The barbarian removes the fly and keeps drinking. The goblin pulls out the fly and starts yelling, "Spit it out, you winged bastards! Spit it out!" Really? That's
Oh, you know what the best part about that joke is?
Good effort.
It's over.
I thought it was funny.
They're not all home runs, unfortunately.
Wow, I thought it was funny.
So that's going to do it for us this week. Again, you can find us on Twitter at The Clash Files. You can find our website at www.theclashfiles.com. If you want to get a hold of us, we're at hosts@theclashfiles.com. And if you want to follow us individually on Twitter, all of our details are at the podcast Twitter feed. Make sure you send us any questions and comments. We'd love to get feedback and ratings on iTunes, where you can find us. Subscribe to us on iTunes. You can also find us in StitcherRadio.com and on Spreaker. And until next time, thanks for listening to the show.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks.
Or good morning. Good afternoon. Whichever one.
Today's show was produced by me, Rancid Meat, and brought to you by Dark Elixir. Our music is by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.